I'm going to show you the easiest way to get your character from Character Creator 5 and into Maya. It's so incredibly simple, and it gets you ready to animate and render with the highest quality. And did I mention you barely have to do anything? Now, this process that I'm going to show you is only for Maya 2024 and 2025. If you're using any other versions, check out this video right here, which is going to showcase another method for you. All right, let's do it. All right, here is my character in Character Creator 5 that I want to get over into Maya. Well, if we go to File, Export, FBX, we're going to do Clothed Character. That'll bring up the Export FBX, and we're going to choose Maya. For this one, we just want mesh. We don't want the motion. HD character, we could do a subdivision. Let's do sub D1. Max texture size. Now, this is all going to depend on the project, what you are looking for. Default is 2048. 2048 is good. It'll help run, but it's not going to look that great. I would at least recommend 4096. That's 4K as opposed to 2K textures. So 4096, I recommend that. Default pose, we could do a pose, whichever is fine. And I'm going to delete hidden faces because sometimes when there are things underneath clothing, it might be a hidden face. And we could just delete it because we don't want it to show through. So we could just hit export. Let's name this guy. Let's name him Greg. I don't know why, it just kind of looks like a Greg. Okay, I'm here in Maya 2025. Again, this is for 2024 and 2025. Now, I have already installed the plugin. You could just search auto setup for Maya Character Creator 5. It'll bring you to a page. You just have to fill out like a brief survey, and then you can download this. It has instructions how to do it. You basically need to run 2 bat files and then just drag and drop a PyMel file into the viewport. And when you do that, it'll actually create a new tab here in your shelf called Reallusion. And there's a tool here. So we're going to click it. You can see here there's an import option and then a bunch of other tabs here. We'll get to those in a moment. Let's go to our FBX file. Greg, here we go. Here's our FBX that we exported. If I double click this, it's actually going to find the JSON file. We don't need to populate that. If it doesn't populate for any reason, you can navigate to find that file. And we can collect the textures. So collecting the textures basically means that we get to choose where we want to throw all these textures for. So if we go to source images, let's just make a folder Greg textures, and we could double click and we can choose it. And now I'm just going to hit import. This is going to import our character, create all the materials, connect everything together, and get it all set up to be used in Arnold. Arnold is a very high quality renderer, and a lot of people use it. It looks great. It looks fantastic. So if we can import everything with just a click of a button, it's pretty great. So our character is here. If I turn on textures, there we go. You see all of our textures are just all set up for us. Now there's no control rig yet. We will get to that in a moment, but let's take a look at these other tabs. So there is Look Dev. Look Dev is a bunch of lighting presets. We can add an HDRI, and we can also load this like Macbeth chart, its color, chrome ball, just to help us kind of looking at all the colors. Let's do this full body. So if we click it, it is going to bring in a backdrop. It is going to bring in a whole entire lighting setup around the origin for our character. Doesn't really look like anything, but that's because we need to put the Arnold renderer on. And let's look through Arnold. Now this is going to kind of go through a little bit of a process. Now we get to actually see it coming through. I mean, that looks pretty great, honestly. I mean, look at that. Once I move, it's going to change, but let's get a little bit closer. You can just see how progressively the render is getting better. We can go into the materials themselves, and we can change the specularity, the radius, the roughness of the specularity. Nice thing is that you could just play with this, play with the parameters. This is all for Look Dev. It's in the name, Look Dev. If I want to remove the lighting preset, I could just do that. And we can add an HDRI. So let's do like a studio small. So now we can load this, and you could just play with it. Just see what looks best for what you're trying to go for here. So let's get this guy rigged up and ready to animate. So after the material tab, we're going to go to face rig. Now I have done this where I've done the body rig first and then the face rig, and I think it broke some things. So do the face rig first, then do the body rig. So let's generate the face rig. I mean, you just need to select any part of the character. So let's just select the bone, and we're going to hit generate face rig. And it's just going to go through a little bit of a process. Okay, so now that that's all done, we have a face rig. And the face rig is pretty much the metahuman face rig. It is geometry, so we do have to select it. But look at that. It controls all of it. Now we could just hit reset to 0, and it'll reset any controllers that we had right back to 0. If we go to body rig, we need to select a CC root joint before we could create a body definition. Let's select the root joint, and we are going to hit create HIK definition. Now we have that. I'm going to go over to definition in the HIK tab, and right here we can create a control rig. We have a rig ready to go, and our face rig still works. Now, one thing to note, the control rig that is created, they are technically joints. So we can go over to shading, X-ray joints, and voila, we now see our controllers. But the other joints are still kind of visible. So I just like to do the root joint. I like to hide it, just that way we don't accidentally grab an actual joint. This is our control rig. We've got our IK. These right here are our FK. And if we go here, edit control rig, rig look, there's a few looks, wire, there is stick, and then there is box. I personally like wire because right here, these bones here are animatable, but it's so much easier to select it in wire because these are a little bit thicker. We have wires. I'm just used to wires in a rig. Let's pose our character out here. Let's get him looking off to the side, and we can bring this down and forward a little bit just to pose. Now all of these controls I'm just very used to because of Unreal. I've animated in Unreal in projects, so I'm very used to this control rig right now. Let's get the arms down. That's the clavicle. We don't want to go too far down there. And the eyes, let's have him looking off. Just like that. And let's look dev this. I like that setup. Let's look through Arnold. All right, and there's a render. That looks phenomenal. Man, it is so nice to just be able to just with a few clicks of a button, just be able to get your character in, rigged up, set up the materials for you. So you don't even have to do much. Maybe there's a little bit of tweaking depending on the look that you're going for. But I mean, this is pretty much just straight out of Arnold default with the lighting setup. I just rotated it to get a little bit more of that rim light. That looks phenomenal. One thing to note, the face rig does show up because it is geometry, so just keep that in mind. You might have to hide it when you're actually going for like a professional render, especially if you're doing a long render, because Arnold is fantastic, but it is a little bit lengthier. You know, this is a 1080p image. This isn't even 4K, and it took about 3.5 minutes just for this image. So just keep that in mind when you render with Arnold. But the quality is pretty stunning. But that's how to get your character from Character Creator 5 into Maya with really just a few clicks. But I hope you enjoyed. I hope to see your Character Creator 5 characters in Maya animating with this beautiful render quality. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Keep animating.